So we now begin our first panel of the day, AI Agents, the Rise of Autonomous Tools.
The session will be moderated by Stefan Bea. Stefan Bea is a serial tech entrepreneur and investor with a background in telecommunications, internet, and finance. He's been driving tech projects in both corporate and startup environments, and he's passionate about creating business value by leveraging technology. Stefan holds an MBA from the National University of Singapore, a master's degree in telecommunications, and various certifications in AI and machine learning. He currently sits on the board of BANSI, Southeast Asia's oldest business angel network, and is an active board member of La French Tech Indonesia. Stefan, the floor is yours.
Good morning, my dear panelists. Please join me on stage. Yeah. Good morning, everyone. Think for a second. What's the most painful, boring, or repetitive task you have to do in your work? Now consider, how would you feel if an AI could do it for you? Fast, effortlessly, flawlessly. Even if the task is complex, requires advanced planning, good judgment, and access to multiple tools. This is the promise and challenge of AI agents, the hottest trend in tech in 2025, and for a good reason. According to the Boston Consulting Group, the global AI agents market is growing at 45% per year, and is predicted to reach $52 billion in revenue by 2030. Today we'll go beyond the hype and try to better understand what AI agents are, how you can get started with them, and finally what it all means for you, your business, and the future of work. And to help us navigate this exciting agentic revolution, I'm joined on stage by three extraordinary tech leaders who are driving the adoption of AI in Indonesia. Starting on my left with Ekki Rinaldi, founder and CEO of Becquart. Ekki has a decade of experience in AI and blockchain. He spent years building computer vision and NLP, natural language processing products, working with bare metal servers to provide solutions for the government and enterprises to help reduce cost and generate revenue. He contributed to the writing of the AI National Roadmap and the design of AI and IoT infrastructure of Indonesia's new capital city in 2024. Ekki is currently building an AI company, Becquart, to bring various AI solutions to the Southeast Asia market. Next, Nathanael Faibis, CEO and founder of Alodokter, one of Indonesia's leading digital health tech platforms. Under his leadership, Alodokter has grown into a comprehensive health tech ecosystem that serves millions of Indonesians every month through telemedicine, e-pharmacy, medical information, and managed care solutions. He's been instrumental in driving the company's vision to make high-quality, affordable healthcare accessible at national scale. integrating online and offline services across hospitals, clinics, and pharmacies throughout the country. And finally, Mr. Sai Prasad Kolluri, CTO of Google Indonesia. Sai is passionate about empowering businesses to transform through Google Cloud's cutting-edge AI, data solutions, and secure infrastructure. As a trusted advisor, Sai partners with organizations to unlock the cloud's full potential, drawing on his extensive experience advising CXOs globally across diverse industries to drive digital transformation. Sai is also a prolific innovator who holds 12 patents. And now let's get started. So first, I'm going to ask to all panelists, in a few words, how would you explain what an AI agent is to a non-technical audience? Who wants to start?
Okay, I'll get started. So, thank you, Stephane. How many of you've used, Google Nest or Alexa or Siri or any of those assistants on your phone? Just a quick show of hands. A lot of you have, right? So you've probably turned it on and said, what's the weather today? How far is this place and stuff like that. But just imagine the world where the same agent is actually able to tell you that, oh, it's raining outside. Like you actually tell the agent, it seems like it's raining. I have an appointment with Stephane, for dinner tomorrow. Please reschedule this and tell the restaurant that we are not going to make it, and we'll probably go the next day, right? So this is exactly what an agent can do in the AI world. So it's basically taking your human interface that you kind of give it through an audio, video, text, or chat, and it understands the actions that you need to perform and gets to an end goal. So that's kind of the simplest version. I think I can probably layer across. There's a lot more depth that we can get into, but I hope that gives a perspective. Any thoughts from you?
What's your definition?
Yeah, so I'm usually explain this to governments and enterprises, so I will talk it in a business manner. So I usually take an AI agent as a super smart intern. Like, let's say that Sam Altman is your intern. The thing is, every business is unique. Let's say in BNI Wonder, right? In banks, every credit scoring method can be different, right? Even though each bank has the same, but in their operation can be different. So AI agent helps you to do that kind of works in scale and fast. So let's imagine that as a super smart intern that can do anything as specific as you can define. So that's my definition of AI agent, a super smart intern that can remember everything.
Super smart intern. Nathanael, what's yours?
Hello, everybody. Yes, so it's a bit hard to give a definition because by nature an agent can do not everything, but a lot of things, right? Not almost anything. So I guess like a few examples maybe can help to understand what you would do. So imagine that, for example, you're contacting an e-commerce because your order is not delivered at the moment. So what an AI can do is like it can understand obviously the request. It can log into the system of the e-commerce itself. It can go find the right category where this information will be. It will search the name of the customer. If it doesn't find anything, it will go back to the chat with the client and say, hey, I didn't find your order. Maybe your name is not correct. Can you give me your ID for your order? Then go back to the right category. If it doesn't work, fall back to another place in the back office, find the information, communicate the information to the customer, get new information, do things, other things as well in the back office, change some information in the back office, put information there. So basically, more or less do what a human would do. So that's things that were very often feasible before, but it would have required millions of lines of code, endless testing, while right now, basically, by building very strong agentic system with different tasks that are separated from each other and very long instruction, this can be deployed in a matter of weeks. What would have before could have taken years to build.
Okay, so we have a flavor. We'll go deeper, of course. But first, let's examine how come that that you have such an acceleration of the AI agents this year in 2025.
So specifically for 2025, we are talking about, right? It's been an explosion. That's the single word that I would put it at. I think technology has advanced significantly in the last few years. So we used to count technology by years. When you go to an IT department of a company, they would say, I'd retire this laptop after 3 years, a server after 5 years. But the way AI has moved the fence is literally in the order of months. Models are getting released every few weeks. Innovation is happening. So I think in 2025, at least from Google's point of view, we've seen immense adoption in creative, a lot of creative agencies adopting AI, specifically building agentic AI capabilities. A lot of back office transformations have started with several enterprise customers that we've seen, whether it's banks, whether it's retail, whether it's even manufacturing, interestingly, has gone on that path. We've also seen a lot of agentic AI flourish in the space of data. And why I say that is because every CXO in every company is flooded with thousands of reports, and they don't know what to make of it on a daily basis. So this has been very helpful in actually unlocking value, in giving insights that really matter for that particular persona. And therefore, I would say that there's creative and operational efficiency-based agents that have powered 2025. And 2026 looks more exciting.
Wow. Nathanael, you want to add something?
Yeah, I think just the models have just gotten much better. I mean, there were, I think, up until last year, there were a lot of things where we're looking at AI answer and we are laughing at it. Today, not too much. It's not very funny anymore. It's like working, not all the time, but very often working really well. So when it comes to basic answer coding, the progress has been enormous in our space as well, on the medical space. The models were barely working, I think, up to last year. Today is very impressive what results you will get, and I think that this is across the board on most verticals. So the better the model are getting, the more possibility will open for agentic AI.
So it's exciting because I've been in AI for like almost a decade. So I've been building AI product for government since 2017. And that time, there are only two kind of person that can access to AI. First is engineers, and second is researcher. Back then, only limited a few of people that can access. But the thing is, with the chat GPTs and all of other similar things like Google Gemini, it accelerates the adoption so AI can be used by everyone with cheaper cost and easier access. So those two kind of component accelerates how AI adoption can be done in this year. So it will be more exciting in the upcoming years, especially with some of new release of cheaper computation. So it will be more massive in implementation, especially in on-premise solution. So.
Great, thanks a lot. So now let's get a little bit more concrete, right? I'd like you to give me a short answer and think about what's the coolest use case you can think about with AI agents today.
So I would say nano banana. It's kind of broken the internet in the last.
Right, okay, explain. What's nano banana? I agree, it's super cool.
Other than nano banana, you mean?
No, no,
Oh.
please explain.
Oh, okay, okay. So basically, we launched a model which can generate images by simple text, or you can upload a photograph and ask the AI model to actually make changes in the image in real time. So we codenamed it as Nano Banana internally, but it became viral as it went out. So we actually changed the product name to call it Nano Banana. So Nano Banana has been powering several image creations. Everybody who has a Pixel phone out there, it's powered by Nano Banana. Google Photos rolling out into several devices is powered now by Nano Banana. So you can actually upload a picture and ask it to change the background, change where you are, cut the image and put it in different places. So I've actually used it in my personal life as well. And a lot of creative companies have adopted that to start creating creative stuff. And VO3 is the next one. So a lot of companies are creating marketing content using AI models, and so they create an image in Nano Banana, upload it to VO, and then they get creative stuff. So it's not a short answer, but a long answer.
It's fantastic. Just a little secret, my LinkedIn profile picture has been created by Nano Banana. No need to go to a photo studio anymore. Nathanael, what's your top use case?
Not about top use case, but I think that's what's helping me the most on a daily basis. Is basically automating the making of PowerPoints, which was something that was taking forever with extremely little value. Basically position everything, have the right layout. So today this is sorry. Today this is almost mostly automatable. You have a lot of tools online that enables you to build PowerPoint from scratch. You just give them indication about your color code, give them a few example of presentation you like on your side, give them the content of what you want to put. So you still need to write down the word, even though ChatGPT or Gemini can help you to write that as well. And then the PowerPoint presentation is done by itself. So what would have taken maybe days before to make a well-polished PowerPoint presentation can be done in a matters of minutes or hours today.
Yeah, mine is same as well, like creating profile picture. Especially I fan of View3, so
Okay.
that will be that's such a great product as well. And also doing some kind of PowerPoints using AI as well. I'm going to share. I'm going to say that one of the coolest use cases that I've done is saving 100 million US dollar from a bank by using AI. I think that's
Wow.
a new definition of cool for me. So,
Have a bank in the audience?
so yeah.
Wow, fantastic. No one talked about vibe coding. Vibe coding is super cool. What's your take on that?
Oh, okay. I think I will answer to that first. So I've been vibe coding for 8 months, and the acceleration of how the tools improved, like Cursor or maybe V0 or maybe Emergent, it's extraordinary. And I'm currently building those 3 products with just vibe coding. I think it will.
Please explain for the audience what's vibe coding.
Yeah, so vibe coding is just you ask an AI agent to build an app. So that's my vibe coding definition. Like,
Yeah, and so basically today, you can just communicate an intent,
yes, sure.
and you don't need to write a single line of code, and you get an app, right?
Yeah,
That's it, right?
yes, that's right. Yeah. So I think it's really helpful for having a vibe coding for our daily tasks. Like everyone can create their own application. I think that's really cool use case as well.
What I can add is if we get in, typically any kind of a solution architecture, when my engineers get in and talk to customers, so they're all doing whiteboarding and a lot of wires going here and there, in the whiteboard. But it now becomes easier because they can bring the business stakeholders in a room. They can ask them what do they want. They type it out. The app is literally in front of them as a prototype, and they can tweak it on the fly and then decide that, okay, I'm going to deploy this, right? So that's the speed at which things are moving.
Right. Okay, let's move on. So now, okay, keep the mic, Sai.
Okay.
So from a tech perspective, can you explain to us what's possible today that wasn't possible 5 years ago?
A lot of things. A lot of things for sure. I think first of all, the time that's being given back to humans is enormous. That I feel, and this is the feedback that's coming in from several customers. I'll give you a simple metric that'll help us understand. A year back, we wrote a blog which said 100 use cases of AI, right? And everybody was like, okay, how is this even possible? 6 months later, it became 600 use cases of AI. And 4 months later, it was 1001 use cases of AI, right? With blueprints. So a simple way to look at that is it's given back a lot of creative time to people to go and do stuff which actually matters for the core business. It's helped decision makers to make faster decisions. And it has actually helped unlock value where a lot of cycles were wasted in ideation, fast fail based models. Now that's become reality, right? So you can actually get things to reality much faster. So that would be my take.
Great. So lots of time savings. Another question for you, because you work at Google after all, right? So can you try to contrast for us the adoption of AI globally and here in Indonesia?
Yeah, very good question. So globally, I think one of the things that I can say is a lot of organizations, are very bold about wanting to try things out. So we've seen examples all the way from car manufacturers, beauty, retailers, e-commerce players, banks, pretty much experimenting and bringing AI into real adoption, right? In this market, the potential is huge. Why do I say that? We recently launched a report. We do an annual study every year with Temasek and Bain. We launched a report on what the digital economy of Southeast Asia looks like. And specifically, it has a section for Indonesia. It's publicly available. One can go read it up. And we've kind of discovered that in the last 1 year, Indonesia specifically has had a triple-digit growth, 120% plus growth on using AI-based applications. I'm not talking specific to Google, but in general, the adoption of AI has been tremendous in this market. At the same time, there's also a lot of concern that people have, whether it's safe or not safe. And therefore, I think now the policymakers are thinking of it in the right direction. The ecosystem is kind of adopting it that way. So we can talk more about it later, but I think the long story short is the Indonesian economy doesn't have the baggage of what the global economy has. So they have a mobile first economy. They have a very young population. They have people who are financially included in the larger digital finance ecosystem. So that gives a tremendous opportunity to dive straight in and adopt this ecosystem, whereas the traditional players in the outside market, have had to change many things in the past. So that one barrier which I think is removed in this economy, but I think the need for change is there, but I think we need to take action. That's the one thing that I would say.
Okay, so super insightful, triple-digit growth in AI adoption in Indonesia. Now let's go to healthcare. Yeah, Nathanael, healthcare runs on trust. Yeah, so how can you safely integrate AI agents into healthcare?
It's a good question. The first thing to understand, to be quite blunt, is that today healthcare have very high limitation on safety. Today, I mean, if you look at the whole world, the way it works, medicine is extremely complex. You have to deal with a lot of information from the patient side, a lot of information from science. Science is always changing. And having worked with doctors for years, we are asking them a job that is extremely complex today. A job that I would not ask to anybody else in the company, where you have to deal with tens of thousands of scenarios, extremely complex decision tree, in a science that is always changing, right? So take into account as well the medical record of patient, their medical history on their side. So when you start a consultation, it's not like, I would say, most job where maybe you have 20 scenarios. A doctor start a consultation, it may look simple. In reality, you have 20 to 50 million options that may happen during this consultation. And that's something extremely complex. Up until now, there was just no way around it. There was just no way to make better than this, right? So that's the reason we ask doctors to study for 10 years to become doctor, because you have just to learn a lot of information to be able to manage it. So there's inherent limitation to safety today on that side. And AI is going to basically not solve everything, because that's not possible, but basically supplement the doctor. So we've been experimenting with AI in Alodokter since 2018 in Alodokter. First, when LLM didn't exist, we were using machine learning model to support doctor. The idea was always have been to support the doctor in the background, to give them as much information as possible during a consultation to help them take the right decision. Then the doctor can decide to listen to what the AI is saying or not listen to the AI saying. The doctor is qualified to take this decision. The patient will not be able to see it. So it's up to the doctor to decide, hey, with this information I get, what do I do? Do I follow it? Do I do something else? And so forth and so forth. Now we are integrating with more complex LLM, building our own model as well to support our doctors in our teleconsultation, for example. And the idea is to be an assistant to the doctor, not to be front-facing, but basically back-facing, which is very helpful for the doctor, right? So, for example, reading all the medical record of the patient before a consultation. So that's something that can take hours to read all the past consultation of a patient, all their medical record information. An AI can do that almost instantly and give this key information to the doctor, building decision tree for the question to be asked, recommending something to be done. Then the doctor will take the decision on would I follow what is recommended or not. It's up to the doctor, but there's support there, basically, that are here in the background. So in terms of safety, the first safety is to definitely have the doctor to be always the one taking decision. I think that's the key. And have the doctor and the robot working together, right? The robot is making the doctor more safe, and the doctor is making the robot more safe on the other way around. The two ways are working together. I think the comparison I always give is plane. As you know, I mean, pilots are supported by robots when you are in a plane. If tomorrow someone tell you go into a plane and someone tell you the robot is broken, you will probably not go into the plane, right? On the other hand, if someone tell you, oh, there's no plane pilot and the robot will be on its own, you will say, oh, no, sorry. I think I will skip to the next one, right? So it's a bit of the same, right? And I think that many jobs will look like this. We spoke about vibe coding, for example. Yeah, it works when the application is small, but definitely when the system gets bigger and more complex, you need as well someone to understand the infrastructure, understand the full context in order to take the right decision. So safety will come basically by working together.
Okay, super insightful. I love the plane and pilot image. Quick follow-on question and a quick answer from you, please. Can you envision a future where medical agents can soon coordinate personalized healthcare end-to-end?
You mean end-to-end, like everything? Yes. I don't know. I don't know. To be frank, I don't know. It will depend on where the technology is going. What are the limitations to AI in the long run? To this answer, I mean, like I think that anybody in the world would be bold to say, like, hey, what I'm doing today could not be completely done end-to-end.
So it's maybe for this afternoon's panel then. Now to Ekki, you have designed Indonesia's AI roadmap. Can you tell us how do agentic systems align with the national strategy according to you?
Okay, so during we are writing the roadmap of AI, the number one challenges that we are going to create this roadmap is the whole Indonesia has a lot of range, different spectrum on how they implement technologies. Like not everyone have the same understanding on how the technology should be adopted. So one of the advantages of we are having an AI agent is by accelerating the learning curve of how each industries, enterprise, and also policies to learn and adopt about AI. So one thing that we are thinking about an AI agent is how we can make the same understanding on the whole businesses, enterprise, and policies. So that's how we can incorporate AI agent in our roadmap.
Okay, thank you. And quick follow-on question. Are local enterprises ready in Indonesia for the agentic revolution?
Okay, so I want to take an AI agent as a tools for us to accelerate the learning curve, right? Most of enterprises are misunderstood that after implementing AI agent, then everything will be solved. Right? It's not a silver bullet, but as I mentioned in the first section, that we treat AI agent as an intern. So that's our opportunity to transfer our process thinking to the AI agent, so it can help us to understand how we can use AI agent to improve our business processes. So if you're asking me, are we ready enough? Sort of, but the proper answer it will be every enterprise should use AI agent to boost their learning curves and improve their operations.
Great, and it's a fantastic transition for the next topic. How can businesses get started with AI agents? So a question for all panelists.
Okay. That's a good question. So we just had an event last week, so I was talking about it. So it's pretty coincidental. So before I answer that question, I just want to continue what Paiki said, and then I will jump to yours, right? For anybody, for any enterprise who wants to use AI, the one thing to remember is AI can only be as powerful as the connectors you build or the data that it's actually anchoring on, right? So we can sit in a glass bubble and say, connect everything in your enterprise and you'll get magic out of it. You will not get magic out of it. You'll only get garbage, right? So the way to make it happen is to actually, we call it enterprise truth. So which means if an enterprise has 100 data silos in the organization, pick the ones that matter for the business process and focus on, putting that data across to the AI agent to make things happen.
So start with data.
Start with data.
Garbage in, garbage out, right?
Yeah.
That's
Now coming to, I think on the enterprise one, where do we get started? I think data is very important. We get started there. And also start from the top down, which is don't go to your tech team because they're going to keep experimenting with toys forever. Go to the teams, like procurement, finance, HR, marketing. They're the ones who are actually having a lot of business processes out there, which will make sense for them to automate stuff immediately, right?
Okay, so start with real business value, right? Yeah. Nathanael, your answer on this question.
Yeah, I mean, the recommendation I would give to anyone is to start playing yourself with those tools, to start building stuff even if they are bad. Not because you want to do it for you and for your company, that maybe not be robust enough, but just because it will open your chakra, right? It will basically open to what can be done, give you idea, understand what could basically be implemented within the company. Once you start playing with it, you make your own pet project, and today any AI basically can support you. You say, hey, I want to build this, what are the best tools? and the AI can guide you inside the tool, which may not be the tool you will be using in the end as well, but it would just basically, yeah, give you ideas and give you just the mental shift in your basically to open the barriers of what could be done in AI, either it's automation, either it's opening new processes, new businesses. That's one thing. The second thing is exactly this, right? I mean, like starting not from the tool itself, but starting as well from the need. What is basically today very repetitive in the company? What is bringing very little value and takes a lot of time to everyone? And looking into automating this.
Okay, great advice. Just start, just do it, right? Ekki, what's your take?
So my advice is try to start from the repetitive one, the repetitive and lowest risk. So I think that's the way on how one company can motivate it on implement AI further. So that's the first thing. And the second thing is I agree that especially every decision making should try hands-on on AI so they can have a sense of pricings, the limitation, and the capabilities of AI tools, so they can be more predictive on how they want to do with AI in the next future.
Right. Keep the mic. So now, what's the most common mistake when companies try to start with AI agents?
Yeah, so I think one of the most common thing is they think AI is cheap. I think in some sense, because yeah, especially when you heard one of the common mistake, hey, I want to implement AI in my company. So how much does it spend? Okay, let's start with the servers. The servers, if you want to implement ChatGPT in your or Gemini in your company, it's like around 15 billion Indonesian rupiah. Like they shock. Right? I think that's one of the most common thing that managers are kind of undermine on how much does it costly to run AI. And so the other common thing is that when we do implement AI, they think that more data will be equal to a good performance. But actually, in practical way, it's not linear. More data doesn't means a better performance, but the more accurate data that we are going to look for with the problem that we want to solve, it will resulting into a better problem solving using AI. So that's two things that companies more commonly mistake, thinking that AI could be cheap. So
Okay.
second one is more data and
Right.
equal to more
Nathanael,
performance.
common mistakes according to you.
Yeah, so I'm not sure because obviously I'm not doing consulting for companies in AI, so I see mostly my own case. But I would kind of disagree a little bit on the cost. Maybe for big enterprise, if you want to have something extremely streamlined, robust, doing everything, maybe it's very expensive. But if you're an SME, yeah, you can start experimenting and doing things at very, very cheap cost today, right? I mean, at least that's what we've been able to do, and I think that is feasible. So it depends on, I guess, what's your objective, I guess, for the company, right? I think the big mistake I would see is like basically thinking I must do AI for doing AI. I would say that's the first one. Thinking like, hey, I'm missing the boat, so I need to do something just to say I've done something and ticking the box. So yeah, it's always better to start with a real use case for your business. Thinking like, hey, what is there in my business that could be basically greatly helped by AI? As mentioned, starting maybe with the stuff that is like a little bit less strategic at the beginning, and to climb into stuff that are very essential and critical for the business gradually.
From my vantage point, I think stuck in the ideation loop is a big issue. So being just stuck at ideating, and thinking in the traditional way of let's find the big bang problem and go behind it. I think it's a big problem which we see with enterprises. My recommendation essentially would be you have an idea, like what we just heard, pick the business problem and run behind it. There's vibe coding, there is AI experimentation tools. There's so many things that can be done to experiment the idea and see how the MVP works, and then scaling it becomes, an easier problem to deal with.
Okay, so you're talking of small wins, right? Test, experiment, get business value and scale, right? Okay, next. Okay, by Ekki. So just to take the counterpoint to what you said a few minutes ago, and follow on how Nathanael objected in a way, how can SMEs start if they don't have massive budget?
Okay. So I think it's NVIDIA just launching a new computation. I think that's one kind of starting point if you want to go with on-premise system. So instead of you spending 15 billion, you just spend like a 2% of it. I think it will be a good start if you are care about on-premise system, because most of the enterprises cares about how their data will be handled, right? But I also agree with the other two panelists that you can start cheaper using the cloud infrastructure. So let's say that you can use Gemini using Google Sheet to analyze your data. I think that's the most common and most approachable things for SMEs to get started. Get your data into Google Sheets and let AI analyze for you. I think that's pretty good stuff.
Okay, back to healthcare, Nathanael. How do you manage data accuracy and patient safety at scale with AI?
Yeah, so as mentioned, I mean, the first one is to have the zero AI front-facing patient. There's always like a human touch, basically a human shield between anything AI and whenever that is recommended. I would say that's the first aspect. And the second one is basically to have a strong testing process, basically to have humans to validate the accuracy percentage of any AI that is shipped into our ecosystem.
Okay, final questions for this topic to Sai. How can we ensure that different AI agents can collaborate well together?
Okay. How can we ensure? I think, first of all, let me go back to my previous point, right? Pick the use case, start with that first. And because we are talking the era of multi-agent and literally getting down that path, just simplify the problem to what I just started off when I began the discussion. Break everything down into micro tasks around what would a robot or an agent do if you were to give it a problem, and start building those capabilities with those specific systems and integrate them together. That's what I would say. But more importantly, ensure that you adopt models which follow responsible AI practices, which have security guardrails, because otherwise we've heard stories about people uploading pay slips and it's all over the internet. So pay attention to that when you roll things into production. So there are capabilities available from Google, from other ecosystem players. So adopt the security principles and ensure that these agents talk to each other. Yeah.
Okay, next. So AI agents are super powerful. You have an idea of how you can get started. Now, what it means for you, right? And question for all the panelists: are AI agents competitors or collaborators to human beings?
I would say they're collaborators. Like I said, it frees up time, it builds creativity, it helps to add more value. The other important piece is legally speaking, AI is not allowed to give medical advice or legal advice, right? So therefore, there's always a human who has to adopt the AI, like how Alodokter is doing it, right? So you adopt the AI, the human takes a decision, and then does something beyond that. So
very
augmenting.
point.
Yeah.
So I think both competitor and partner. What I often say is most of the jobs that exist today did not exist in the 1800s or in the beginning of the 19th century. And we have just no idea what the future will look like. We can complain about it, but there's just nothing that we can do about it. In general, innovation basically creates a lot more wealth, creates a lot more jobs. The most innovative country have the lowest unemployment rate in general. How to say? Whatever innovation happen, there will be new jobs that will be created. There will be some that will disappear. Some people will be supplemented. Some other will not. But we just need to adjust, right? I mean, like I think that it's more like a fatalistic way, but in a good side way. I think that it's just going to make the world more efficient and just the world richer in general. Also think it's very important for, that's what I tell to everybody in my team, right? It's like today, either you are going to be able to work with AI and be a lot more productive with AI, or you're going to become a dinosaur inside the company, right? I compare it with when internet arrived in the 1990s. If you were not using email by 1999, it was difficult for you to basically be productive enough inside the company. And many people basically push back change on their side. And I think it's going to be the same with AI, right? I mean, I think that's the same for me in my job. I have to adapt basically to this new tool, learn to use them, learn how to adapt them on their side. And it's what I tell to all my team. Some of them take it seriously, some of them not. But I strongly believe it, right? Either you know how to use those tools, either you know how to build a 50-page prompt, either you need to build an agentic system, or you're going to be on the passive side of what happened. So if you want to be on the active side, you need to know how to use those tools. If you don't do it,
Wow.
then whatever happen will happen.
Okay, take good note. Don't be dinosaurs. Ekki.
Yes, as I said that I think AI as an intern, so it's a collaborator for me. It helps my day more easier, doing repetitive tasks and some creativities work. So yeah, it's collaborator for me.
Okay, so AI agents are here. They're coming fast. There's nothing we can do about it, so let's better understand them and adopt them, right? But what kind of ethical frameworks can guide their deployments? Sai, maybe you want to start?
Yeah. So I think at least I can speak on behalf of Google, right? So we've adopted way back in 2017 responsible AI practices, which essentially says, AI should not do harm, it should be used for the right purpose, should not target an individual. So with those practices in place, comes controls, right? Like what are the kind of controls that are supposed to be built so that you know that AI is not behaving in an odd way, right? So we've contributed to all those capabilities, and I think coming back to ensuring that how AI can be responsible in a way, I think is our core mission. While we talk about AI on the stage and everywhere we go and implement, we also need to realize that there are, threat hunters, cyber attacks happening literally behind our backs, which are actually using AI to create cyber attacks, right? And AI is attacking AI, and AI is solving it. So it's kind of getting into a cyber warfare of sorts. So again, building the whole capability of ensuring that you have responsible AI principles, number one, and building a secure framework around it will help policy and outcomes.
Nathanael, ethics, super important in healthcare. What's your take?
Yes. So we basically do as much testing as possible to start with before be putting anything online, and using good tools that are safe, that ensure data safety, safety of protocol and so forth.
Ekki.
So I think that we can start from the legal that we should abide in Indonesia, like PDP and some sort of GDPR. But one thing that I most commonly look being asked from enterprise is it safe to play around data using AI in the cloud? The short answers is most of AI providers does not have GPU servers in Indonesia. Which is technically not comply directly to PDP. So you need to carefully ask the partners to explain how they can encrypt the data, even though the servers is outside in Indonesia. They need to make sure that the data is safe being transferred to other countries and back into your server. So I think that's one thing that enterprises should know about.
Great. So I think it's time to wrap up. So in conclusion, AI agents are not just new tools, but a paradigm shift in how to organize work and get it done. The time to start experimenting and building with AI agents is today, or you will risk being left behind and become dinosaurs. And finally, AI agents are not replacing humans, but they're redefining what humans can do. So if you want to hire an AI agent to perform your most painful, boring, or repetitive task, feel free to reach out directly to our distinguished panelists or to me. And now for my final point, I hope that after today, you will not ask yourself, will AI agents take my job? But instead, how can I learn fast enough to collaborate with them? Thank you very much. Now it's time for the Q&A session.
Yeah, great question. We'd love to hear what you think, and just please raise your hand, and we'll bring the microphone to you.
Thank you. For Nathanael and for the French tech community. So we have one champion in France called Doctolib. And it's pretty, I mean, there is some hot topic right now about, where the data of individuals and sensitive data about individuals are, right? So, I mean, who can access to it, how secure they are, because it's great to be always available, but to who is it available? It's a key question. And also yesterday, maybe, how is it acceptable at the right time? Yesterday night, I guess, I was trying as a human to work with my AI, and Cloudflare was down for 3 hours. So when Cloudflare is down, I lost quite a number of skills that I used to have as an individual, right? And now I'm basically half productive of what I used to be as a human being somehow, right? So it's my question to maybe first maybe to you, if you don't mind, Nathanael, and the second maybe for you, sir. Thank you.
Yes, so for data safety, I mean, like the data is based in Indonesia, is stored in Indonesia as per the regulation that is basically for all Indonesian company, data need to be in Indonesia. We are using Google Cloud on our side, who was Cloud server that is based in Indonesia. So you have state-of-the-art technology available from Indonesia without having the data to go outside on our side. In healthcare, what's important is always to basically, anytime there's any information that is processed, is to always to use anonymous data, so that you make sure that there's never name, there's never any ID number or nothing that can basically pinpoint towards you as a person, right? So that's the important thing, is like make sure that there's never any data transiting basically to a third party that will have any data that basically can back identifying you on your side. So that's how to manage things. On your point about Cloudflare, that's exactly what I was saying about the plane, right? You need a pilot and a robot, because if the robot is broken, you need someone to take over, right? And the one to take over it's us. IT system gets broken. They don't get broken often, but they get broken maybe 1% of the time. And humans have the ability to know what to do and to have basically to have the capability to improvise solution, which a robot would be much harder for a robot, especially when it's broken on your side. So the adaptability of human, the adaptability to know what to do and find solution when things are broken, is something. It's not on the only thing. I think there's many things where we bring value, but it's definitely one of the things where the human component of what we can, the human component will still become super important. So improvisation and knowing what to do when things break, because they will break. Whether it's Cloudflare or anybody else, there will be times where there will be issue and you need someone to take over, especially in healthcare, where when someone is sick, you cannot tell them to wait for 5 hours for Cloudflare to be back.
Just to also, I think he's covered most of the points. Just to add, when cloud was started, not forget AI, like the historical story of cloud, it was built for failure. Right? Let me rephrase that. It's built for failure, right? Which means any service in cloud is bound to fail any point of time. So which is why the whole concept of stitching services together was really born in the cloud, and that's kind of the biggest difference between physically putting a server in your office versus running things on cloud, because the fungibility of stitching services together becomes much more seamless. And what did that bring together? That basically brought the fact that you could have a higher availability of service, because if one zone went out, the other zone came up, the other zone came up, the other region came up. If the other region went out, you went to another region. So essentially the whole interconnectedness of the ability of being able to pick up services to fly with. If the reference is specific to, and this can happen, the failure can happen anywhere, but I think the way we do it in Google, especially, is you've heard probably Google also in the news sometimes, but the way we do it is anytime a failure happens, we ensure that the product is actually fixed so that that problem never happens again. But yes, failures can happen, so the intent is to bring the blast radius down when an enterprise is actually using the ecosystem out there, and provide highly available capabilities and decouple the whole story. Right? Historically, you put an application on a server, it's sitting right there. But if you now break it into, like, say, going slightly technical, if you break it into microservices and the database is sitting in distributed databases, now you have a far more highly available ecosystem fabric that can deliver value. And the same thing applies to AI as well. So I'm sorry to disappoint you, but the fact is, it is bound to fail, but we want to ensure that there are multiple services that we stitch together to drive outcome.
Okay, so unfortunately, we are running out of time.
Oops,
Please
okay.
give a round of applause to our moderator and panelists. Thank you, Stefan, and all of our panelists for that engaging discussions.
So please remain on the stage because we're going to be handing out souvenirs right now. Okay, now you may return to your seats. Thank you.